Hello, thank you for joining us for Building Strong Communities. I'm Erica Manny, the Chief Executive Officer of the American Red Cross Central Appalachia region. I hope this show will provide you with vital information to help keep you and your loved ones safe and help build a strong and resilient community. The mission of the American Red Cross is to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of emergencies by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. The Red Cross aspires to turn compassion into action so that all people affected by disaster across the country and around the world receive care, shelter, and hope. Our communities are ready and prepared for disasters. Everyone has access to safe, life-saving blood and blood products. All members of our armed services and their families find support and comfort whenever needed. And in an emergency, there are always trained individuals nearby, ready to use their Red Cross skills to save lives. Through this show, we will provide you with critical, life-saving information for you, your family, and your community. In today's episode, in honor of January being World Blood Donor Month, we will explore how the American Red Cross works with generous blood donors, blood drive sponsors, and our communities to save lives. Every 2 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. It's essential for surgeries, cancer treatments, chronic illnesses, and traumatic injuries. 1 in 7 patients entering a hospital will need a blood transfusion. The Red Cross provides about 40% of our nation's blood and blood components, all from generous volunteer donors. Yet, only 3% of Americans donate blood in a given year. Each day, the Red Cross needs to collect about 12,500 blood donations to meet the needs of patients across the country. Blood and platelets cannot be manufactured. They can only come from volunteer donors, where one donation can help save more than one life. Blood can be used safely, donated every 56 days, up to 6 times a year, and Power Reds can be donated every 112 days. Joining me now is Adam Reeves, our region's biomedical donor services executive. Welcome, Adam. We're excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Can you tell us how long you've been with the American Red Cross and about your role?
Certainly. I've been with the Red Cross a little over 17 years. My role with the American Red Cross is to support a team of around 85 Red Crossers across the Central Appalachia region as we look to fulfill our mission in providing life-sustaining blood products to those in need. So we're a very small but mighty team covering a large geography and ensuring mission delivery.
Can you tell us about the blood donation process?
Sure. The best way to start this process is visiting redcrossblood.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment to find a blood drive near you. At the drive, donors will check in, do some pre-reading, and then answer some personal health history questions. The good news is most of this can be done beforehand by completing what we call Rapid Pass. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But they do a mini physical to help ensure the process is as safe as possible for them and for the person who may receive their unit of blood. Then they'll come out from the actual donation. Following that, some folks' favorite part. They get to enjoy 15 to 20 minutes relaxing in our canteen area, having some juice and water to make sure that they've got their blood sugar back up, they're hydrated, and ready to go for their next donation. And this whole process takes about an hour. And we also encourage our donors before they leave their current appointment to go ahead and schedule for their next appointment to make sure they get that time slot and that location that works best for them.
So if we have viewers who may be interested in donating blood, can you tell us about the guidelines for donating blood?
Certainly. In general, being in good health, feeling well, we ask, how are you feeling? Are you feeling well and healthy today? Being at least 17 years old. If you're 16 in some states and within Central Appalachia, 16 years old with parental consent, and that form can be found online. A lot of our blood program sponsors provide those forms to our 16-year-old donors so they can go and get that parent or guardian signature for that permission. Additionally, weighing about 110 pounds. Additional weight requirements apply for donors that are 18 years or younger and all high school donors. And ensuring that folks have not donated in the last 56 days, because you can donate every 8 weeks for whole blood or every 16 weeks for what we call our Power Red donation. And that's for our O negative, O positive, A negative, and B negative blood types.
Well, I look forward to talking more about that. And if we have donors who want to donate, there is a registration process, and we ask them to do that. Can you talk to us about the registration process?
Certainly, the key thing is we really want folks to make an appointment. Visit redcrossblood.org, calling 1-800-RED CROSS, downloading the blood donor app, making that appointment can really improve your experience and also the experience of our other donors and our team members alike. While we do accept walk-ins, we can't always guarantee the availability when a donor wants to walk in, especially for those Power Red appointments. There's fewer of those appointments throughout the blood drive. Want to make sure our donors have an ID with them. And also donors, they don't need to know their blood type when they donate. That's something that our donors will be provided several weeks after donation. They will get their virtual donor card and it'll show their blood type.
That is an awesome benefit. And you touched a little on this, but what type of blood donations can be given here locally in our region?
Yeah, people who give blood usually give what we call whole blood. That's typically what you see when you think about a blood drive. You think about that one pint, right? That one bag of blood. That blood is then separated into multiple parts, and each one of those parts do a separate job. This way, 1 unit of blood can help impact multiple lives and getting the transfusions that they need. Additionally, as I mentioned, we have our Power Red process in which we're only collecting the red cells. And that's, we call it Power Reds. We used to call that double reds. It's a similar volume as a whole blood donation, but we're only keeping those red cells. And those red cells are then obviously leveraged for patients in need of those specific blood products.
Thanks, Adam. And we will be back after this quick break. Stay tuned to hear more from Adam about how you can save lives through Red Cross blood donation.
We all have a type.
Maybe you know what your type is.
Maybe you don't.
But you have one. Am I your type?
You can be the type to save lives.
Welcome back to Building Strong Communities. We're here with our guest from American Red Cross, Adam Reeves, who is the executive for donor services in the biomedical area. And for those who are interested in donating blood, Adam, can you tell us about what first-time donors might expect and how they can prepare to donate?
Absolutely. So the first thing a donor, first-time donor for any matter, would want to do is make an appointment. Visit redcrossblood.org, 1-800-RED-CROSS, or download the blood donor app. Select a donation type and find a convenient time that works for you and a location that works best for you. Prior to your day of donation, be well rested, hydrated, good night's sleep, and lots of healthy foods, and drink extra liquids leading up to the day of your donation and even the day of your donation. It'll help ensure a smoother process for you as the donor, especially a first-time donor. Eat that healthy meal. Iron-rich foods, meat, fish, poultry, beans, spinach, iron-fortified cereals, raisins, for example. Just get that good diet and that good hydration. Rapid Pass. I mentioned earlier Rapid Pass. This really helps expedite your donation. The Rapid Pass allows you to complete your pre-donation health history prior to the day of prior to your arrival at the blood drive. It does need to be done the day of your appointment. Completing this really will help speed up the process. And then just relax. Once you're at the blood drive, you arrive, you check in, scan your ID, scan your donor card if you have one, if you're not a first-time donor. Back in the health history, they'll scan that QR code from your Rapid Pass. That'll help, again, expedite that process. Off the donor bed for 6 to 10 minutes or so on average, and then you're off to that canteen area. And while you're donating, just sit back, relax. You can listen to music, talk to our lovely team members, talk to another donor, prop up a book, Make yourself comfortable for those few minutes. Whatever you feel best to feel relaxed and comfortable in that environment. And we'll do our best to make sure that's the case as well.
So Adam, when people come to a blood drive, they get something that's like a mini physical. For instance, your blood pressure is taken, and that can be really valuable information. What other valuable information might donors get?
Yeah, the main benefit for our donors is that they're helping somebody, right? They're potentially saving a life. But it's nice to have a little bit of a what's in it for me, right? And that mini physical, that blood pressure, that pulse, the hematocrit, or checking your iron level in your blood, right, to make sure that you're overall healthy and healthy enough to donate. And this is all tracked also within the blood donor app. So as a blood donor, I can go back and look at my previous 50, 60 donations and see the trends of my blood pressure, my pulse, my hemoglobin. I can see all that, so I can really help, trend my own health. Aside from that, donors are frequently, they do get that report when they start donating. And all first-time donors who self-identify as Black or African American are also tested for sickle cell trait as part of a sickle cell initiative, which is a critical initiative for the American Red Cross and blood centers across the country. And of course, there are certain times when we have special promotions for donors too. So going back to what's in it for me, whether it be a pair of Friends socks or Elf socks or a Snoopy t-shirt or any of the previous items that we've provided to our donors, there's a nice thank you gift for coming out and saving lives. And you can, share with your friends and family and boast that you're a lifesaver and a Red Cross blood donor.
Another benefit, and something that people often say they don't know, is they find out their blood type when they come to a blood drive. Why is that important?
Yeah, I think it's very important to know your blood type. I think it's just something we should know about ourselves, right? We should know what our blood type is, and I think a neat thing about that is it's also inherited, right? So your mom or dad, you're gonna have that combination. You're gonna get your blood type, and it is an inherited trait. So like eye color, right? Blood type is based on genetically from your parents. Whether your blood group is A, B, or O, based on the blood types of your mother and father. Many people ask about what blood types are most needed. And it's really important to understand that all blood types are needed, right? There's always a big focus around O positive, O negative, that's when people think about universal donor, universal recipient, et cetera. But the fact of the matter is all blood types are needed because, again, as I mentioned, we've got A's, we got B's, we got ABOs, all those folks need those same products as well. So that matching is very critical. So blood types are determined in the presence of absence or of certain antigens. So substances that can trigger an immune response if they're foreign to the body. So that's where that ABO match is so important. And since some antigens can trigger an immune system response and attack transfused blood, safe blood transfusion depends on careful blood typing and cross-matching. So all those antigens, all those variables are so critical when we look at our blood inventories and a diverse blood supply, both from ABO, ethnicity, et cetera, to make sure we've got that match for our patients and we've got the right product at the right time on the shelf for patients in need.
Is that why it is so important at the Red Cross for us to have diverse blood donors and blood donation?
Yeah, it's essential. Donor diversity matches patient diversity. As I mentioned, we're all not the same. We've all got different backgrounds. We all have different blood types, right? And those go beyond the ABO blood types. For example, U negative and Duffy negative types are unique to the African American community, Black and African American community. People with sickle cell disease and these blood types rely on blood donors who are Black and they need transfusions. When blood is phenotypically matched, that's the blood type match, patients are at a lower risk of developing complications from their transfusion therapy. This is the reason why it's so important that we have that diverse blood supply. We increase the number of blood products that we're getting from ethnic and racial groups. Again, we need products to match the communities we serve, right? And looking at whether it be within Central Appalachia, we look at the Red Cross as a whole. The Red Cross is supplying around 40% of the nation's blood supply. We're a very diverse country, right? We've got a very diverse, we need a very diverse blood supply and diverse group of blood donors to meet that need. So it is critically important. And I'm really proud of the work the Red Cross and other blood banks have been doing the past for quite some time in focusing on this, making sure we have that and make sure, again, we've got the right product at the right time on the shelf for our patients.
Adam, thank you. And there is such a diverse, need for blood, including for those who are fighting cancer. Can you talk to us about how blood and blood donations are utilized in fighting cancer?
Certainly. I think when we think about blood products and blood transfusion, we think about acute need. We think about trauma. We think about large blood loss situations. What we may not think about is that cancer patients use nearly 1/4 of the blood supply, more than patients fighting any other disease. About 6 blood products are needed every minute to help someone going through a cancer treatment, and that's a staggering statistic. Cancer and cancer treatments can put patients at risk for low red cells and low platelet counts. Blood and platelet transfusions are a critical part of cancer patients' care. Some types of chemotherapy can damage bone marrow. Lowering the production of platelets and blood transfusion may give that patient relief for some symptoms and improve their quality of life. And this is also the case, as I mentioned, our sickle cell initiative, right? Over 100,000 individuals across the country battling sickle cell disease. And we think about a sickle cell episode and the need for those blood products to help relieve that and the pain that patient's going through. So, really staggering numbers when we look at the need for blood when it comes to our cancer patients and their battle.
And the Red Cross has a blood donor app, and you can do so much through that app and get so much information out of, utilizing the app. Can you talk to us about how this can be helpful to a potential donor and what benefits there are to utilizing it?
Yeah, our app is fantastic. It's won quite a bit of Webby awards, and it's quite celebrated within the Red Cross, and it continues to get even better. It started out as a way to track donations and then make an appointment and access your Rapid Pass. And it's a great tool for our blood donors. I used it just yesterday to make my appointment for next week. It makes the process so easy. So after your first donation, the app holds your donor card. You can schedule that appointment that I mentioned. You can see the donation history that I mentioned, your Rapid Pass. On the day of your donation, you have access to your Rapid Pass. You can look at your personal blood journey, which is fantastic. You look at your blood from the day you donated. It'll give you updates from donation to where it may be shipped, whether it be to the local patient within your community or within the national inventory, like somewhere across the country. For example, my last donation, after local needs were met, it was sent to Denver, Colorado. So I thought it was pretty cool. Being able to impact lives across the country is a pretty cool thing. It really encourages you to get on and make that next appointment, right? So this is where you get updates about your blood after donation. You get the notifications, as I mentioned, different stages, and you find out that impact. And it's a cool tracker. It's some good information for yourself, but also it's that it's that reason why we do it, right? You get that reminder, you get that kick to, I need to make that next appointment, right? I'm eligible for every 8 weeks. Sometimes time gets away from us. We get that notification, we go on the app, and it's quick, couple button pushes, and I've got my next appointment scheduled, and the cycle just repeats. So for our whole blood donors, every 8 weeks. For our Power Red donors, every 112 days, keeping on the rotation. The app's a really nice way to track that and keep up with your donations.
Thanks, Adam. I think that free app that donors can download from the App Store on their phones is just such a great opportunity to not only save time when they come to a blood drive, but also, as you mentioned, that blood journey and where the blood is being utilized is such a motivator for so many of us when we see, where we're making that impact. So the blood donor app is a great tool. And, another great tool, if you will, is the blood drive sponsors. We cannot collect this blood without our great sponsor locations out there, like schools, churches, businesses. Can you talk to us about who can be a blood drive sponsor and what you're looking for there?
Yeah, thank you. We couldn't do it without our blood drive sponsors. We have a couple of our fixed sites, our fixed, Red Cross facilities across the region. but majority of our blood products come from our community sponsors, as you mentioned, our civic organizations, our schools, our hospitals hosting these blood drives. And the best thing to do is, if you know your local account representative, reach out to them. Visit our website, give us a call. Our amazing team of account managers out in the field are ready to connect with you and look for a site for your blood drive and how to recruit donors. It comes from groups big and small, right? Whether organizations of 1,000 members down to families who want to do a blood drive in honor of or in memory of a family member or a friend. It's really a grassroots effort, and the number one reason people don't donate is because nobody asked them to. So our blood drive sponsors, or blood program leaders, as we call them, are those folks and their teams out there asking friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, reaching over the cubicle wall and saying, "Hey, we're having a blood drive next week. Can I sign you up?" Right? Providing the education and reinforcing the need for blood in our community, because again, we're relying on our community for the blood supply, right? We need to ask each other, ask ourselves, and our blood drive sponsors are just so key to that. We wouldn't be able to fulfill our mission without our blood program sponsors. And for those that are viewing this, a big thank you. Thanks for continuing to spread our mission and ensuring that we're doing our part to fulfill the patient need.
So we have blood drives nearly every day throughout the state and beyond, where people can come and donate. If a donor or an interested donor doesn't yet have the free app downloaded on their phone, how else can they make an appointment to come out and give blood?
Yeah, certainly. 1-800-RED Cross. You can call 1-800-RED Cross, and one of the options would be to schedule that next appointment, and then redcrossblood.org. Do a zip code search. Throughout the Central Appalachia region, we have 10 to 12 blood drives every single day. So we'll have something in your neck of the woods at some point or another, usually on a pretty good rotation. So redcrossblood.org, go on, find a donation location near you, and then 1-800-RED Cross. And if you haven't downloaded the app, download the app. Another great way to find that spot near you.
So our blood donors are genuine heroes to us at the Red Cross and throughout our communities, with so many people that receive those blood donations when they need it most. How are our blood donors treated at the donation sites?
Oh, absolutely. The best, right? I mean, because again, we can't do it without our sponsors that are hosting us, and then our donors that are coming in, right? We want to make sure that they have the best experience, and as a donor, you can prepare for that experience. The good night's rest, the hydration, eating a healthy meal, etc. And when you come in, you're welcomed, right? You're a lifesaver. You're coming in, and considering that over 40% of the population is eligible to donate, less than 3% actually donates. How valuable are you, right? Our donors are so valuable to us, and recruiting new donors and retaining donors that have donated for decades to make sure that we are providing excellent service. We're explaining the processes. We're making sure folks feel comfortable, in that donation space. So, I can't speak highly enough about our care for our donors. And the thank you for our donors that are longtime donors that continue to come back and see us every 8 weeks, every 112 days, depending on the rotation. Our teams always joke about their donor families, right? They go out and they see a lot of the same faces, a lot of the same donors coming back time and time again, and then we filter in those new donors, which are so critical to continuing our mission and making sure we've got a strong inventory in the future.
They truly are heroes, and this is one of the very few products in the world that cannot be manufactured, that we do have to rely on donors to come and roll up their sleeve. So Adam, thank you so much for joining us today and giving the information and the inspiration out there for people to come and save lives through blood donation at the Red Cross. Now let's hear London's story about beating cancer through the help of blood donors.
London is my 10-year-old daughter. She is the youngest of my 3. London was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma in December of 2022. She started off with just a PET scan, and it showed that her tumor was localized and metastatic only in the rib area, and she started her first round of chemotherapy. In total, London had 65 transfusions. She had 40 units of platelets. She had 24 units of blood and 1 unit of plasma. That played a key role in her recovery because of the infections that she was dealing with on top of the radiation burn and the broken bones that she also was dealing with on top of that too. I dealt with it the best way that I could. Just kept pushing forward and taking things minute by minute sometimes, not day by day.
My daughter London is just everything to me. Like, without her, I wouldn't be me.
London is a very energetic 10-year-old. She has the brightest personality. She can make you laugh on your worst days. Even going through treatment, she could just make you smile no matter what she was going through. Every time she would get a transfusion, you could tell the difference just by the skin. Her skin would be more pink. She had more energy. She was a whole different child.
It made me feel better, like making friends or walk again.
So National Honor Society is based on 4 pillars, and one of those is service. We found out that London was having to wait for blood when she needed it, and we wanted to do one in her honor to help her and other patients that might be dealing with the same thing. Our goal was 100 units. We were able to collect 120. That's about 3 times what we normally collect. It was a very long day, but from the moment that London came into that gymnasium, it was very emotional. She put a face to the purpose of the blood drive.
The blood drive meant a lot to us because it just showed the love and support that they were coming out to do it in honor of our daughter and the battle that she went through. We were going around to the tables as they were donating, thanking them. And this gentleman that I didn't know before, he said, I had read her story on Red Cross and I knew I needed to donate. And this is my first time and I want to keep doing it for you, London. Today she's doing great. She's getting stronger by the day. And after 15 long months, we are proud to announce that she is cancer-free. Giving blood is important to so many people. It could be from anywhere from cancer to HEMOC to trauma victims. Their lives depend on blood donors. And with the one little needle poke that you get for donating blood is nothing compared to the pokes and prods that these patients that need the blood actually go through. You're so beautiful.
Yeah.
To people that gave blood for my daughter, I would literally tell them, thank you. It was the biggest gift that anybody could ever receive. Without it, she wouldn't have been here.
Thank you. So you saved my daughter's life.
And please schedule your blood donation today during National Blood Donor Month. Simply download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, call 1-800-RED-CROSS, or enable the blood donor skill on any Alexa Echo device to make an appointment or for more information. All blood types are needed to ensure a reliable supply for our patients. So contact your local Red Cross or the number on the screen, visit our website, or follow us on social media to learn more about the services the Red Cross provides in your community and how you can get involved. Thank you for joining us today for Building Strong Communities. See you on the next episode.